Welcome to Life's Journey with Faith. What happens when wealth, power, and secrecy collide? What happens when influence shields sin? What happens when justice feels unfinished? The world watched one of the most disturbing criminal cases of our generation unfold, not just because of the crimes, but because of the names, the influence, the plea deals, and the unanswered questions. Today, we are not chasing conspiracy. We're not spreading speculation. We are not reacting to headlines. We're chasing truth, approaching this from a biblical perspective. Power, secrecy, truth. The Epstein-File. Imagine being 14 years old. Someone powerful notices you. Someone wealthy promises opportunity, private planes, big houses, important people. You're told you're special. You're told you're chosen. But behind closed doors, behind influence, behind prestige, something dark is waiting. This isn't about politics. This is about children. And when children are harmed, the world should not argue, it should grieve. Let's be clear about what it is documented. Jeffrey Epstein operated a trafficking operation involving underage girls. In 2008, he accepted a controversial plea deal that resulted in approximately 13 months in the county jail with work release privileges. In 2019, he was arrested again on federal sex trafficking charges. Before trial, he died in jail. Official ruling, suicide. Court records were unsealed. Civil depositions were released. Flight logs became public. Contact books surfaced. These documents exist because of legal proceedings, not because of secret leaks. This distinction matters. But here's what makes the story unsettling. Wealth was present. Power was present. Influence was present. And for years, accountability was not. Scripture speaks to this in Psalms 12, verse 8 says, "The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted." When influence replaces righteousness, vulnerability increases. The children suffer. Listen carefully to what Jesus said in Matthew 18, verse 6. "But who shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better off for him that a millstone were hanged around his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea." That's not political language. That is holy warning. The protection of children is not optional in Scripture. It is sacred. Now let's be reasonable. Being named in a contact book is not the same as conviction. Appearing in flight logs is not proof of criminal participation. Being mentioned in a deposition is not a guilty verdict. Allegation is not evidence. Association is not participation. Mention is not conviction. Truth requires precision. Proverbs 18, verse 13 says, "He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him." We must guard ourselves from assuming what has not been proven. In 2008 plea deal granted immunity beyond Epstein himself. Victims were not properly notified beforehand. Many believe the sentence was extraordinarily lenient. That controversy is documented history. It damaged public trust, and when trust erodes, suspicion grows. How does evil operate? It hides, it flatters, it isolates, it promises, and it counts on silence. John 3 verse 20 says, "For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved." Darkness depends on secrecy. Light depends on exposure. Before we point at elites, we must examine our own lives. Where does secrecy live in us? Where do we tolerate what Scripture condemns? Where do we excuse behavior because someone is influential? This case is not just about one man. It is about the corrupting pull of power. One reason this story still feels unresolved is simple. He died before the trial. There was no full courtroom exposure, no complete public cross-examination, no full accounting. And when justice feels incomplete, people feel unsettled. But Scripture reminds us in Numbers 32, verse 23, "Be sure your sin will find you out." Earthly justice may delay, but divine justice does not disappear. Power can influence systems. Money can buy silence. Influence can intimidate. But nothing escapes the eye of God. Luke 12, verse 2 reminds us that there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Nothing covered, revealed, hid, unknown. Let those words settle. We do not rejoice in scandal. We grieve for victims. We demand accountability. We guard truth carefully. And we refuse to build narratives beyond evidence. From a biblical perspective, justice may delay, but it does not disappear. Truth does not fear investigation, and light does not compete with darkness. It exposes it. Power may influence courts. Secrecy may delay justice. But remember, nothing escapes the eye of God. Thank you for joining me in life's journey with faith. Remember to always seek the truth, stand in discernment, and walk by faith. God bless.